Hey, Bruce Naylor here, your boomer consumer. And today's episode, I think, is kind of special. Now, I happen to love headphones, and I listen probably more on headphones than I do to my rig with speakers. Probably 60-70% of my time is spent listening to headphones. So I got an email a while back from a company called Sineaptic about their new product, the SE-1 headphones, and here they are. These are billed as the world's first dual ribbon wireless headphones. So a ribbon driver is basically the electrostatic driver or ribbons with magnets securing both ends. When you talk about planars, you got the ribbons, but you also have a diaphragm attached to those, and that's kind of one of the main differences. And people want ribbon drivers if they're into a lot of detail and really crisp, bright highs. That's what ribbon drivers do for you. And I'll just cut to the chase on there. They do deliver when it comes to these headphones. Now, I like to think of these as the magnepans of headphones, right? And these are really for people who love a lot of detail. They want wireless capability to support Bluetooth 5.2. But before we go further, let me give this disclaimer. These were sent to me for review at no cost to me. However, no one's reviewed this video prior to posting. All opinions are my own. So we got that out of the way. All right, let me share with you the unboxing experience. Now, keep in mind, as I understand, this is their first product they're bringing to the market. The box that this thing came in was huge, right? And it was extremely difficult to get into because it was inside of a headphone case, deep down inside the box, secured with these like rubber band, these bands, not rubber, but these bands. I literally had to fight to get those removed off of the case in order to get the headphones out. So it was very surprising that the box was so big. In the box, though, you do get a hard travel case, you get a cloth bag, you get the SE-1s, you get a USB Type-C cable, and a very long 3.5 millimeter wired cable, a quick start guide, and a user manual. As far as the specs are concerned, these are an over-ear, open-back design. The drivers, again, are a dual ribbon array driver, and the frequency response is 15 to 30 kilohertz. It does have a built-in Class D amplifier. It does have a built-in microphone, and it was called an MEMS microphone for making phone calls, etc. Bluetooth 5.2. Now, what's interesting is the only codecs supported are AAC and SBC codecs. You get 15 hours of runtime, and it takes about 2 to 2.5 hours to charge. It weighs 412 grams, or about a pound. They're pretty hefty. Okay, this is the part where I share with you kind of what I like and dislike about a product. I do like the fact that you can use them in wired mode and wirelessly both. And I've used it both different ways. I would say I prefer the wired sound just a little bit more than the wireless mode. I like the price at under $200. That makes them fairly affordable. It's actually amazing that you can get a ribbon driver headphone for $200. That's definitely, they spent a lot of the money in those drivers. I think the sound rivals much more expensive headphones, including planar magnetic headphones. The ear cups are removable, and it does have nice thick ear pads. So those are some of the things that I really like about the SE-1. I'm neutral on the appearance. Aesthetics are an individual personal thing, so I'm just gonna stay neutral on that. Here's what I don't care for, because there's a number of things to think about when you're considering the SE-1s. Let's just start right off with the packaging. It's very clunky, and it's overly large for. And I understand, that they want to make sure they get to you nice and safe, but I really think they need to work on that packaging a little bit more. I feel like there's just too much plastic in the construction of these things. I was underwhelmed with the build quality. They always felt loose to me, no matter how much I tried to adjust it. They just felt big and loose on my head. The removable ear pads, they are pretty difficult to move. I almost felt like I was going to break something trying to remove an ear pad. They're just really large, but I suppose they have to be to a point to support the ribbon drivers. Another thing that kind of interests me is, why is there no support for LDAC or aptX codecs, just AAC and SBC support? And finally, when you get in the $200 price range for wireless headphones, a lot of them come with things like active noise cancellation, and again, the support for the better, more high-resolution Bluetooth codecs. And these do not. Now, I tested this listening for several days, different kinds of music, but I'm just going to mention a few of my favorite tracks that I listened to on these headphones. And the first one was Patricia Barber's Cafe Blue album, the track Romanesque. There's a spaciousness and an airiness to this I have yet to hear from any of my other daily driver headphones. That includes my Hi-Fi Man Edition XS, a set of Sennheisers, and I forget the model number right off the bat, but some Sennheisers, a pair of Audio-Technica headphones. I haven't heard the airiness in that track like I did with these right here. Now, another album was from the White Stripes, the Elephant album. And you want to get pumped up on bass. You want to talk about bass. The track Seven Nation Army. What a great test. And this is really interesting because the bass on these headphones was way different than I'm experienced on other headphones. It sounded almost like there was some type of subwoofer running on there. I think they tried to engineer a bit of a V curve into this, but it's just very interesting. It's not unpleasant. It's not muddy or distorted. It was just a little bit different. Another track that I really enjoy is from the album No Jacket Required by Phil Collins. And the vocals on there, I thought sounded just a little scooped inward. But they were very detailed, very breathy, very airy, because that's what ribbons do. They just give you this 3D space, this sense of depth that you don't get on a lot of other speakers or headphones. Okay, how do I rate headphones? Well, I use a 5-star scale. I judge on what I call fiddliness, and that just means, is it easy to operate, easy to use, get to all the features without a lot of fiddling around. The build quality is another thing I rate on. Then the features, and how competitive it is in the marketplace, and finally, the sound. So let's start with fiddliness. I got to tell you right up front, the unboxing was totally bothersome to me. And I'm going to recommend to Sineaptic that you change that up and really work on your packaging big time. The controls, however, are fairly easy to operate and to get the features to work. Not really an issue. So for that, I'm going to give it 1/2 a star. Well, okay, so remember, we were paying $199 for these. Let's talk about build quality. In my opinion, there is far, far too much plastic. It just doesn't feel like these things are going to hold up for the long haul. Now, I'm sure they will, okay? But the feel, right? These are just too difficult to fit. I could not get a nice, secure feeling with these. You got these winglets on here, I guess that's what they're called. They got a little uncomfortable to me after a long listening session. Also, the cups don't swivel or rotate. So I'm going to give the build quality 0 stars as far as I'm concerned. Now, let's talk about the feature set. The microphone's okay. It's the same kind of mic you're going to find in a lot of different headphones in this price range. But I think that the lack of active noise cancellation is kind of a miss on these. These got to be fully charged up in order to use them in wired mode. It will not work if the battery is dead on this thing. And I think the lack of LDAC and haptics codecs with the Bluetooth on this is also a disappointment. Now, your other basics are covered, things like answering and hanging up on a call, forward and backwards for music, pause, play and pause. That's all covered very adequately with the built-in controls. So for feature set, I'm going to give it a 0.5 star. Now, competitiveness in the marketplace. I'm going to say right now, you want that ribbon sound, you want that Magnapan-like sound. Far as I know, there's really nothing else in the marketplace that's going to compete at the $200 price range. That being said, if you're looking for something that handles more Bluetooth codecs, you want things like active noise cancellation, maybe looking for something a little bit better made, build quality-wise, there's a lot of competition in this space, such as the Anchor Soundcore. You can get the Hi-Fi Man Sunderas for less. But because of the ribbon design, because how unique these are, all right, and I'm going to give it 1 star. Finally, let's talk about sound, right? It's bright, not overly bright, but you get this huge sound stage, you get extreme detail. The bass is interesting in this. It's kind of hard to put into words. It's good. It's just different than other headphones that I've heard. The detail, the imaging, the sound stage, all those things that audiophiles love, they're definitely there. You buy these for the sound. If anything else, there's no doubt that Sineaptic put most of the money in these and engineering these ribbon drivers. It's the rest of it that needs some work. So to summarize, as I said, you buy these for the sound, period. End of story. Okay. These really are too bulky, I think, for travel because they don't easily fold up. They don't pivot, rotate, any of that kind of stuff. Look, but if you dig the sound of ribbons, you're going to love these. And that is my review of the Sineaptic SE-1 dual ribbon wireless headphones. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.